and informative.
It is always a pleasure to have you join us on the News Machine, the hottest news magazine show on radio. We are reaching you from Hot FM stations in Lagos on 93.3 FM, Hot FM Abuja 98.3 FM, and Hot FM Owerri 99.5 FM. 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. Monday to Friday. I am Otobon Nkanta. This morning on the News Machine, WAEC seizes results of candidates from 8 states. Makinde ends feud with protesting Oyo State workers. Senate in rowdy session over motion to suspend Keyamo's screening. And ECOWAS plans another summit to assess political situation in Niger. We will also be linking up for the voices in the news. The News Machine will be back after these messages.
Now you can get your news on. Hot, fresh, exciting, and exclusive. The News Machine.
Reaching you at the same time in Lagos, Abuja, and Owerri. 3 states for the price of 1. Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m.
The News Machine. More than just news.
Hot FM.
We are more than just radio.
Welcome back to the News Machine. The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has revealed that the release of results for the 2023 West African Senior School Certificate Examination, WASE, can now be accessed alongside the certificates of candidates who took the examination. WAEC made this known through the national officer, Mr. Patrick Aragon. Meanwhile, candidates from 8 states owing the West African Examinations Council for various services rendered will not get their 2023 West African Senior School Certificate Examination results. The body lamented that the inability to pay for services rendered was posing a great challenge in the activities of the examination body. Zamfara and Niger are the highest debtors. Again, Zamfara did not present any candidates for this year's WASE.
Distinguished colleagues, I will put the question again.
Order, please. Distinguished senators, sit down, please.
The screening of ministerial nominee Festus Keyamo through the Nigerian Senate plenary into a rowdy session on Monday in Abuja. The lawmakers could not reach a middle ground on whether to go ahead with Keyamo's screening or not. This is as a result of a point of order raised by the senator representing Abia Central, Darlington Nwokocha, stressing why the nominee screening should not take place, citing Section 88B of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Senator Nwokocha mentioned that Keyamo had in the last administration refused to appear before the Senate to explain how the 52 billion naira appropriated for Nigerians was spent.
And today, we need to find out, Mr. Senate President. Nobody is stopping him from being cleared. No. And I'm happy the way the president has sent so many people, great people here. We have questioned them, passed through the screening, wonderful people, and we're ready. As much as they are ready to work with the system, we are ready to clear them. But not on the grounds of putting something under the table, not granting some people fair hearing, because I would like us to grant him fair hearing since he has been running away from it, for Nigerians to know what really happened.
Senator Nwokocha got some support from Senator Enyinaya Abaribe representing Abia South.
And in view of the fact that this nominee rejected the summons of both the House of Representatives and the Senate, that I do support that this nominee should be stepped down pending when he decides that the National Assembly has that right to inquire into the workings of a minister and his ministry. I so second.
Senate President Godswill Akpabio thereafter subjected the motion to a voice vote, but the lawmakers were divided on the matter.
Distinguished colleagues, a motion has been moved and seconded that this Senate do resolve into a closed session to iron out some issues of national concern. Those who are in support of this closed session as moved say aye. Those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate will now revert to a closed session. The press will leave us, and the nominee will leave us for a while we discuss.
To speak to those issues, let me start with an unreserved apology. My apology is without reservation. It's total apology for the misunderstanding that arose between us in my committee at that time at the Ninth Assembly. I apologize without reservation, total apology. And I pray that, as I have done privately to my committee members at that time, headed by, like I mentioned in my main speech, Distinguished Senator Akwashiki, after which the last 2 years of my stay as Minister of State Labour, we had a fantastic relationship.
Festus Keyamo was a former Minister of State for Labour and Productivity under the then administration of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari. The Economic Community of West African States heads of state are to hold another extraordinary summit on the political situation in the Republic of Niger. A statement by ECOWAS stated that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, chairman of ECOWAS, will convene the summit of the authority on the political situation in the Republic of Niger. The summit will hold in Abuja on Thursday, August 10, 2023. The ECOWAS leaders will be considering and discussing the recent development in Niger during the summit. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has addressed the angry civil servants in the state in a bid to end the 5 days protest embarked upon by the organized labor unions, which paralyzed activities at the state secretariat. The governor assured them that he would continue to place high premium on their welfare. Makinde noted that both sides arrived at an improved understanding with the joint leadership of Niger Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress. The workers went on a week-long protest to press home their demands, which include, among others, payment of monthly deduction from workers' salaries, release of 2021-2022 promotion letters, and release of their leave bonuses. Now it's time to get the trendy stories from the News Machine studios at Hot FM 98.3 Abuja. Let's hook up with more news coming from the nation's capital.
Good morning. Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission has said the federal government paid the sum of 36 billion naira to subsidize electricity consumption in the first quarter of 2023. In its quarterly report, NERC said the money amounted to the payment of 12 billion naira monthly, which was paid to the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading. With the NBET charged with the collection of revenues due to generation companies and transmission companies of Nigeria from the DISCOs, the sum of 141.5 billion naira was paid to the NBET from the 209.2 billion naira invoice given to the DISCOs. Recall that the total revenue collected by the 11 distribution companies in the first quarter was 247 billion naira from the 359.3 billion naira billed to customers. A breakdown indicated that Abuja DISCO paid 20 billion naira from the 32.8 billion naira it was billed, while Benin DISCO paid 14.4 billion naira from the 17.8 billion naira. Echo DISCO paid 19.4 billion naira from the 22.8 billion naira it was charged, and Enugu DISCO paid 15.72 billion naira from its 20 billion naira. Ibadan DISCO paid 17.5 billion naira from its invoice of 24.5 billion naira. Ikeja DISCO paid 29.6 billion naira from the 35.9 billion naira given to it. Jos DISCO paid 7.1 billion naira from the 8.8 billion naira it was billed. Kaduna DISCO paid 1.8 billion naira from the 15.3 billion naira given to it. Kano paid 6.1 billion naira from its 15.0 billion naira it was billed. with Port Harcourt Disco paying 8.5 billion naira from its 14.5 billion naira, and Yola Disco paid 899 million naira from the 1 billion naira it was billed. National leadership of Fulani Socio-Cultural Association, Fulbe United for Peace, comprising of Fulani leaders from 36 states and the FCT, have reached an agreement to make more effective contribution to national development. The agreement was reached after a national consultative meeting in collaboration with Arewa New Agenda held in Abuja. In a communiqué signed by President of Fulbe, Ardo Aliyu Liman Bobo, read by convener Arewa New Agenda Abubakar Mo Al-Layidi, noted that the association, amongst other things, have resolved to support the current administration and make efforts to bring peace and security in the country.
The Fulbe is in a position as an ethnic and socio-cultural association to make the most effective contribution for national development. It hereby lends its support for all the concerted efforts to bring peace and security in the country. They have agreed to develop strategies to bring all Fulbe together by using their traditional approach that is deeply rooted in the Fulbe tradition and culture, that is Pombodu, to bring an end to any form of criminality in the name of Fulbe.
Mo Al-Layidi also noted that they have agreed to develop strategies to bring all Fulbe members together to seek a local workable solution from within, reaching out to other interest groups to promote national reconciliation.
Develop a strategic network with relevant authorities for Fulbe youth nationwide. They are seeking for a local workable solution from within and will be reaching out to other interest groups to promote national forgiveness, reconciliation, and healing the wounds that have been inflicted on our great country, Nigeria. They are asking government to consult with ROS leadership on issues of policy that concern the Fulbe.
And that's all from the News Machine studio at Hot FM Abuja. I'm Kevin Joseph La, over to Lagos.
All right, let's link up with the News Machine studios at Hot FM 99.5 Owerri for the trendy news happening in the southeastern part of the country.
Good morning and welcome to our News Machine studios at Hot FM Owerri. I am Ifeyinwa Nwanna. The home of an Eze-elect, Eze Ezekiel Nwokedi, Okorowan of Ekurosu, the traditional ruler-elect of Okurosu Ihitokwa in Osu local government area of Imo State, has been allegedly set ablaze by some unknown gunmen operating in the local government. In his reaction, the affected and embattled Eze-elect, whose house was set ablaze, Chief Nwokedi, when contacted on his telephone to get the whole chronicles of the sad development, expressed worry and disappointment concerning the attack of his house. He therefore described the ugly encounter as very unfortunate but called on the government for assistance. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has accused leaders of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, of doing politics with the soul of the union, which it said was formed to propagate truth and condemn illegality in the overall interest of members. Recall that ASU earlier made a call for the resignation of the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Professor Nnenna Oti. Hence, the National Association of Nigerian Students warned ASU to redress its steps from the ugly move or face the wrath of students. The Vice President, National Association of Nigerian Students, Comrade Ezenagu Victor, made the accusation when he addressed journalists in Abuja last week. Nance proceeded that the attack on her person has been so vehement basically because of her gender, emerging as the Vice Chancellor of the university, as well as her transparency during the national assignment and in the discharge of her duties as Vice Chancellor. That's all from our News Machine studios at Hot FM Owerri. Back to our studios in Lagos. I am Ifeyinwa Nwanna.
You are listening to the News Machine, reaching you from our stations in Lagos, Abuja and Owerri, 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. Monday to Friday. Let's hear what correspondent Nesesani has for us on Voices in the News.
Governor Alex Oti, Governor of Abia State, Southeast Nigeria.
If you agree with me that maintaining multiple exchange rates has not been the best for the country. And anytime you create room for arbitrage, people take advantage of it. So you saw situations where people can sit in the comfort of their homes and make hundreds of millions of naira simply because central bank allocated dollars to them at the official window, and they will just round trip it and sell at the black market window. So I think it's something that we have been shying away from. I call it subsidy. Some people call it something else, but it's subsidy. Anytime you subsidize, particularly if you are subsidizing consumption rather than production, it gives you the effect that you never really anticipated. It is also good news that as we are converging all the exchange rates, that our production and our levels of export are going up.
Also remember, you can listen to episodes of the News Machine and see videos of more news stories online at hotfm.ng. And that's all we have for you in today's edition of the News Machine. Thank you for listening and do well to have a lovely day ahead. Good morning.